Hello everyone, Eric Klima here. You are watching yet another episode and video from my secondary YouTube channel and vlog, which I present to you all. My sentimental thoughts come from my heart and my soul, and my mental oddball shenanigans come from my mind and brain. This is Eml77 Tv, episode 848. I did already did 2 episodes today. I'm doing another one so I can reach my goal of 1,000 episodes by the end of this year. As you know, I did a video with my sisters. You can check out the video on their channel as well as on my channel if you don't wish to subscribe to them. But if you like them, you can subscribe to them. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. But if you're not interested, it's on my channel as well. You prefer my channel over this? It doesn't matter. It's on both. Their video is both on their channel and on my channel as well. And on the last episode, I did something commemorating the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers by playing some Super Mario All-Stars version of Super Mario Brothers 1. And that's how it all began. But for me, it all began further than that, because we're going to talk about, this is National Video Games Day 2020. So for all you gamers, happy National Video Games Day. Now, and this shirt is playing a huge part in it, because this shirt I will talk about. How I got really big into gaming. But first, my first foray into gaming. Now, my father used to work at Sears, and Sears Auto Center. Obviously, it's now no longer. My father retired in 2015. Him and I, when my dad, my biological parents went through a separation, my dad and I usually make the rounds to the houses of his co-worker, friends, and all that. And I was introduced to an Atari 2600, Atari VCS system, and they had the game Pac-Man. Pac-Man was huge back in the early 80s, and I was kind of fascinated with it at first. I played a little bit of Donkey Kong. And then in the mid-80s, a friend of mine, I used to go to our church, named Douglas Gonzalez. We used to call him Dougie. And for my birthday, he gave me a ColecoVision as a gift. And I was hooked on this ColecoVision. I had learned to play Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Mr. Do, Venture, Mousetrap, all these, and Gorf, all these, and Frontline, all these ColecoVision video games. Congo Bongo was another. Yes, I played Pac-Man, played Cubert. It was so huge. And then in 1985, a company that used to be a playing card company now is getting into, who themselves started in the video game business with games like Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 3. I'm talking about Nintendo. And they came out with a Nintendo system, and they came out with a popular game that came in the arcades when I first saw it was Super Mario Brothers. Now, obviously, the arcade version was a mix, it was called Versus Super Mario Brothers, but it was a mix between the Super Mario Brothers on the NES you see and the Lost Levels as you see. So I started playing a little bit of it, and I was fascinated by it. My dad, ever since we got remarried in '88, and all I could talk about was Nintendo, 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 Nintendo. That started the phrase, "Can I play Nintendo?" Back in the day, that was a phrase. Instead of playing video games, can I play Nintendo? Because Nintendo was the big thing back in the day before Sega came along and made this thing a console war. So, I annoyed my parents. You can ask them yourself. I annoyed my parents. Every time I talk about Nintendo, they get aggravated. People in my church got aggravated. My friends and everybody. As you know, I'm half autistic, but back then, but still, I could never stop not talking about it. No, I stopped talking about it. It got to the point where I had a choice of buying a Finders Keepers board game, which I have now, but I bought it online, or a Nintendo system. My parents threatened me that if I buy the Finders Keepers board game, now check this out, they would punish me every single time I talk about Nintendo. Now, you may think, that's absurd. That's crazy. Your parents are nuts. Well, guess what? My parents are not normal. Neither am I. That's my family. My whole entire family is not normal. Yes, they're weird, but that's okay. That's their method. That's their method. They're trying to get me to shut up about Nintendo. They trying to get me to shut up about this. I'm like, okay, fine. Leave the board game there. I'll buy the Nintendo. In February of 1988, all right, and this is like I think a week or two after my father and my whole entire family adopted my sister Cora. Okay, we went to this place called Child World. Now, Child World back in the day was a toy store. It was one of the biggest toy stores here in Massachusetts. In fact, it started in Massachusetts, Avon, Massachusetts, back in 1972. All right, it became big in the in the 70s and 80s. All right, closed down in 92, 93. Kind of a bad timing, like in around 92, 93, because the Power Ranger toys would have saved this toy store. And this was at Child World. I bought this shirt on 80steats.com. Of Child World, a super toy store, and a whole lot more. And the mascot, the mascot is Peter Panda. Also was known as Children's Palace, but it was Child World. It used to be at the North Dartmouth Mall in the 70s and 80s until in the mid 80s they moved to the Ann Hope Plaza. It's no longer there, obviously. It's now a Christmas tree shop. But anyways, this was where I got my first Nintendo system back in 1988, over 30 years ago. We're talking over 32 years ago, okay? I bought a Nintendo system, and I played Super Mario Brothers. And that's how, as you saw, if you saw in the last episode, yes, I was a little rusty in World 8, but it's been a minute, it's been a long time since I played the game, and I finally, pulled it off. I finally won, as you can see. But but Nintendo was the be-all, the end-all. You're talking about, when the video game crash happened, I had the ColecoVision at the time. ColecoVision was the big system at the time. But Nintendo brought that back, brought the video game industry back from the dead, so to speak. I mean, it came off, we had the Game Boy in 89. That happened 30 years ago. It's unbelievable. That who knew that 35 years ago this game would galvanize, would revolutionize the video game system as we know it. And it was unbelievable. And I was like, nowadays with the beauty of the internet and the way things are happening, so to speak, with the amazing technology that we have today, we're able to relive our childhood memories by playing some of these old school games. Not only that, we can emulate the arcades that we can play in our home systems. But here's the crazy part of this whole thing. The good folks, my good friend Adam Katz, the good folks over at Play Arcade, Adam Katz and all, they're trying to bring that form of glory back. But COVID-19's kind of put the kibosh on that, so to speak, and the government's trying to, try to shut everything down, but because of the lawsuit and the threats, they say, well, okay, fine, why not? And they should open up the schools too and everything else, but there's a little here and there and everything else, and it's crazy that, we're trying to relive our childhood memories. And during this pandemic, we can't go anywhere. Hey, that's the beauty of having emulators and Raspberry Pi systems. We can play these arcade games at home, and the systems that you can't emulate you can't do on the TV, on the high def TV. You can emulate them, and you can play it like in high def. It's amazing. It's amazing that we have the opportunity to relive our childhoods by turning the old school systems into high def HD compatible systems, and like the Hyperkin's done a great job on that. They made a Hyperkin Retro 77, a small box version. Give me a second here, folks. I'm keeping this thing on. I'll tell you what, it's amazing. And yes, it is amazing, folks, that this thing, okay. I'm trying to keep myself from getting tipped over here. Here, Retron 77. Oh, give me a second here, folks. And, all right. You gotta check this out, folks. All right? You gotta totally check this out. Screw it. I mean, I don't know if I did show you this not too long ago. You know, to accommodate you can play old school video games on a high def TV. This bad boy, excuse me, it does it. I mean, it's amazing. We can freaking play. You know, it has the old school controller and everything with 2 buttons, and it works a lot better. I mean, we can. Let me see. Let's see if it's compatible with anything besides our we get homebrew cartridges. Yeah, we have a skill button, memory card. Yeah, it's in French. Everything else is in French. But this is amazing. This is like insanely amazing. You get the system here. Oh, hold on. Let me get the system out. Look at this. Skill game, everything else, everything is. Oh wait, that's off. You can stick a micro memory card's in here, dude. Memory card. It's unbelievable. This bad boy right here. We can actually. It's amazing. It's totally amazing how things work out, man. It's totally nuts. This bad boy right here does it. I mean, how amazing is technology, right? I mean, you know, I am mind blown. And now we can get the handheld games going. I mean, like the Tomy, Tandy. Can we revive them? Can we, like the Milton Bradley Microvision? We got to revive that somehow to keep, it's unbelievable. It's totally unbelievable. I mean, that's how crazy and insane this thing is. And the video games nowadays, they've really kicked it up a notch. You get the Call of Duty, you get the World of Warcraft, Leroy Jenkins. I always want to say that. Leroy Jenkins. I need a haircut. Look at this. This hair is a mess. I look like Bozo the Clown or something like that. We got all these computer games you can play online and everything else, but nothing beats the old school arcade games of the 80s. Now, the Nintendo Switch has something called Hamster Corporation came out with the Arcade Archives. You can relive some of the arcade memories on the Switch. You can relive them on. It's unbelievable the way, it's just mind blowing. It's like, it's totally awesome. And just like, if we can't go to the arcades, you can bring the arcades to us. We don't have to plunk in a quarter. All we do is press the select button, for goodness sakes. That's how good, these arcade games are. And just, and the way the technologies work is totally amazing. And, I'll tell you what, in today's National Video Games Day, so I figured why not. I was introduced to a lot of games, but Pac-Man from the Atari 2600 was the first game I actually played, and it was unbelievable. Playing at a friend of my father's house, and a friend of my father's. Like I said, my father and I, when my dad was single, he needed friends to be around, and so he was always invited to people's houses. Bring your son. We got video games and all that, so he usually brings me. We have a good time. Obviously, I was little, so I couldn't be at home alone by myself. That's the way it is. That's the way it was back in the day for me. But I enjoyed it. I'm always fascinated with Dream Machine, the arcades, Chuck E. Cheese. In Fall River had some of the coolest arcade games. I saw Kid Nicky, Radical Ninja. Now I played that bad boy on the Switch or here at home. It's so unbelievable. It's like, yeesh, I'm excited. Let's rock and roll. It's totally cool, and I like it. And video gaming is the coolest thing in the world. It helps. It helps us, keep our minds off things that stress us out, depress us, and it's just unbelievably cool. And I like it, and I'm ready to rock and roll with this, and get ready to totally reek of awesomeness, and just do the thing, and I like video games, and it's the coolest thing ever on the planet. And like I said before, they don't, like I usually say, none of the material things matter, but God does. But when it comes to video games, it's pretty cool that you get to sit down. It tests you high. It always tests your hand-eye coordination and how good you are. It makes you memorize, makes you think about. Sometimes they have puzzles, make you think and everything else. It just helps keeps the motor rolling, going. Now, too much video games could rot your brain a little bit, rot your brain a lot. But you have to keep that balance, and that's the thing. Nowadays, I don't play for hours and hours and hours and hours on end like I used to when I was a kid. I barely even play for an hour, because they used to limit when I had my Nintendo and I started going to the Christian school in the Academy of the Firstborn back in 87, 88. The pastor of that school at the time, Elijah Davis, recommended that it was just for an hour to play Nintendo. So my parents took that advice and made me play. I usually play Nintendo for an hour if I have friends over. If I have a friend over and we wanted to play, and for special reasons, like when my birthday party happened in '88, my friend next door, Joshua Vieira, my friend next door, he brought some games over, especially Kid Nicky, and we set up the Nintendo system, and we ended up playing Super Mario Brothers. We played Kid Nicky. Legend of Zelda was pretty huge in '87. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I had all these games, and it was really, really cool. And it was really, really cool. And I remember my friend Don Wombolt. He had a Nintendo, and he had Legend of Zelda. Zelda was huge. Zelda was big in his house when he was younger, and he used to play it a lot. So yeah, and it was really cool. It was really cool, and I had great memories for video game systems, and Nintendo obviously was the be-all, end-all, and I just am amazed that video games came a long way. Super Mario Brothers, 35th anniversary, Super Mario came a long way. In fact, they had the 3D All-Stars out, and now I can play the All-Stars on the 2D All-Stars on the Switch, and it's going to be really cool. And I had a lot of fun. I don't know if I'm going to get 3D All-Stars. I figured I'll buy Super Mario 64 somewhere else. Whatever. And I've enjoyed my... I've been, like I said, I've been a video game fan for a long time, and it's totally cool that Super Mario Brothers celebrating 35 years, man. Can't get enough of it. Can't get enough of it. But I'm really excited about how things ended and all, and now I can game on without any issues, without any problems, and just hope. That's why I bring you guys Get These Thumbs, man. Get these thumbs. Get these thumbs, baby. Get these thumbs. All right then. International Video Games Day 2020. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Check out the other episodes. You can like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell if you want more notifications. And trolls, I'll be keeping an eye on you. Any troll-like comments, delete it and you get blocked. I'm not going to tolerate this, tolerate the trolling any longer, and I will ignore you and move on. You can make all the channels you want. Guess what? I'll be one step ahead of you, kids. Don't worry about a thing. And for those of you, my legit loyal subscribers, please continue subscribing. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell anybody that you know that likes video games or likes the stuff that I talk about, wrestling, sports, and everything else. Speaking of wrestling, Vaughn Baskin brought up an excellent point. Failed to mention from last night about the mysterious lady that has been in the fur coat, the nice legs, nice everything. But there was a tattoo that was a dead giveaway of who it was, and they could be repackaging Carmella. And if she's going to be the Staten Island princess again, she's going to be more like a princess than ever before. So I suppose that could happen. A lot of guesses could be Chelsea Green, could be the return of Kelly Kelly. It's a lot of guesses, but the tattoo was of a dove. That was a dead giveaway. Carmella, think she's coming back with a whole new look. And we just got word that Mandy Rose has been traded to Monday Night Raw. It looks like Miz and Morrison are up to no good again. And if I was, the Miz, I can't stand the Miz. Looks like the love child of Fire Marshal Bill and Mr. Ed. Come on now. I would slap the Miz upside his friggin' head because he's an idiot, And Otis keeps outsmarting these guys. Twice he's outsmarting them. Think Otis didn't know? Otis is not stupid, man. Otis knows what he's doing. But he thinks that with Otis, imagine if Otis says, "You're getting traded to Raw, take my briefcase." Imagine that would be the ultimate outsmarting of, or could be, they could ultimately, Heavy Machinery could ultimately outsmart Miz and Morrison by going over the Raw. You don't think that's going to happen? Miz and Morrison are so stupid, mind readers try to charge them half price. Unbelievable. All right, then. I'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day as well. September the 12th, 2024, 24 p.m. is the final time. That means I started this thing about 4 o'clock. So I'll see you guys later. I will see you in episode 849. And just hang in there, hang tight, and peace.